know it's bad when your niece goes, Uncle Mark, why are you so bald?
Yeah. I get that.
Hey.
Really, Dan, what's wrong with your head?
It's good. Is it going now?
Fireworks this year.
I'll call pictures and go this weekend.
You know, I was up with my grandson and their granddaughter, so I wasn't around for it.
I heard it went really well.
Good, good. Yeah, it's the second year in a row they did our high school clay targeting tournament the same day they do the golf tournament, so it's like, just gotta get split in two different directions, opposite ends of the state.
I texted Jerry Clemente, he got back to me.
I thought Monty said he was physically going to.
That's what I thought, and I asked him.
Okay. Much for some money or something.
Yeah, he had some pay. Stuff, yeah. All right, it's 5:30. Let's call the meeting to order, please. Everybody rise, place the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Pillar, would you do the honors of doing a prayer for us, please?
Everyone would please bow their heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank and praise you for the gift of summer, the sunshine, and the beautiful weather that you've given us. We pray that you watch over our friend Monty this evening as he partakes in some medical issues, that you can guide the physicians and be there for he and his family. And dear Lord, we pray that you just watch over the activities of the meeting tonight, that they may be pleasing to you and pleasing to the citizens that we represent. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dan. Okay, we'll have the reading and approval of the minutes from June 5th, please.
Motion to approve and suspend reading.
Motion by Weidrich,
Second.
second by Pillar. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right, approval of the agenda. Motion to approve. Motion by Stern,
Second.
second by Pillar. Discussion. All in favor of this agenda say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we're going to skip over the engineer's report for now. We are expecting Jared to be here. So hopefully, if he's not by the end, we'll wrap up without him then. So let's start with 8A. We have a transient merchant's license, and that's the same group that we've had for Monty told me last 3 years. They sell books and I'm not sure exactly the materials, but we do have the bond and the license from the state as well. And it's had it since, it expires on, it's good until June 7th of 24 actually. And license and permit bond as well.
Motion to approve the application for a transient merchant license to Morelia Town.
Motion by Pillar. Second. Second by Stern. Discussion. This we'll do a roll call for. Pillar.
Aye.
Stern. Aye. Weidrich.
Aye.
Obenauer says aye. Motion passed. Thank you. Okay, application to move a building from Dennis Cahoon. Has everybody seen that information? It's the Northland shed, photos. His lot size, he has plenty of space on his lot, so he does not exceed any of the requirements for a percentage of lot size, so there's no variances needed.
Does he have to provide a location where it's going to be set, despite the fact that his yard's big enough to accommodate it?
Most likely so you can verify the setbacks.
Right.
Otherwise, it probably wouldn't be a big deal, but.
I mean, this here it's apples and oranges. This is just to move the thing, but I didn't know if that was also, because it sits on the surface, it's not stuck into the ground other than maybe with some anchors or something like that. Maybe it's not necessary. I don't know.
It's not a permanent, it will be on blocks.
Right.
Monty did not say if he was impeding on any of the setbacks.
And again, this here is just the application to move the building.
Right.
And material.
Right.
I'd say in the past, that they have the one that's shown, I guess, where.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's usually because if it's close to a property line or a setback.
And if memory serves me right, most of those were maybe stick-built as opposed to moving it in. However, we had that whole discussion on the placement of Mr. Goins' building out there, and that was a mobile unit.
Yeah, we've had several, but Monty did not
Okay.
indicate any issues with setbacks, so we'll pay attention to it and see if he's close to any lines. So at this time, we're just approving or not approving the application to remove the building.
So,
Motion by Weidrich,
I'll second it.
second by Pillar. Discussion? I believe that's a roll call vote.
Mark, it's not involving any money spent, so I don't think you have to.
Okay,
go.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion passed. Okay, application to move building, Greg Newberger. I can't find mine.
And this was submitted to Monty without any concerns once coming from him on setbacks and/or design.
Right.
It's the same company, Northland Sheds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this one you have to?
Just that one.
that this would be the only structure on the
Yeah,
lot at this time.
that's what I was looking
So
for.
this
I thought there was-
isn't on his residential lot where his home is located.
Trying to find that note he had.
It's under 8C, he said Kelly Newberger plans to purchase a Northland shed for his property on Fayette Drive. Simple mobile home court, and the shed will be the only building on the lot
Okay.
for now.
Okay. Again, another one we'll probably have to just pay attention to where it's placed on the lot.
So moved.
Motion by Weidrich.
I'm gonna second it.
Second by Pillar. Discussion.
Well, I'm gonna take for granted the fact there was communications with Monty, and it being Northland Sheds, it's probably a similar unit to that with the Cahooms.
Yeah.
There again, I know we've had issues in the past where somebody wanted to put what Pinterest or other decorative type things would say are nice sheds, but they didn't meet our requirements within the city, so. Again, we can watch this
Yeah.
closely when it comes in.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second. More discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Okay, 8D, application for commercial building permit. That's for the dental office next to us. Doing a lot more than I thought we were gonna do.
Is it all interior?
Believe. Part of it's an addition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Should be bigger. Yeah, they're gonna come out into that parking lot a little bit.
Take
Right.
their own
Yeah.
parking space that they have.
Oh,
Why
park
should-
across the street.
Yeah. But it's quite an investment, and our only purpose here is because it's within city limits, but it's
Right.
more for information.
Yes.
Do we need to make a motion on this then, or is it just for information?
Monty does want a motion on it.
Okay.
So, anybody wants to approve this application?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Weidrich,
Second.
second by Stern.
So I guess looking at these drawings here, I'm not quite sure, I guess where it's going to go to.
Only got one way to go, don't they?
If they go, I guess, north with it.
They're right up against that line pretty much, yeah. They're gonna have to go east.
Yeah, go east.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can see them moving. And they're moving, I had read they're moving their entrance then to Main Street as opposed to on the side where it is right now.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed, thank you. 8E, fireworks permit, memory fireworks. And this is going in the flower shop down at the end of Main Street. Shannon Knudsen.
Don't look like the fire chief has inspected it yet.
Isn't that the year we don't even have a fire hydrant too? Or like it's-
No, they put it across the street.
Right across the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah, and it's full. I did it, when I went by today, there's, all you can see is boxes in those windows. And there's a semi-trailer in the back. I'm sure it's full too. Yeah, we need to
I don't feel comfortable approving this until the fire chief does his inspection.
So what is it for sales? 1 week before?
Well, it says days of operation, June 27th through July 5th. So I think that window falls over
Okay.
our guidelines.
And we can conditionally approve it as well too, can't we?
Yeah, you
As
can
long
do
as
it subject to
Yeah, as long as the chief
receiving
approves it then.
approval from the fire chief or anybody else.
Okay. What would the board like to do?
I'll make a motion to approve this upon approval from the fire chief.
Okay, conditionally, that sounds good. All right. We have a motion by Weidrich
Second.
and a second by Stern. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving down to reports, 9A, water sewer.
Okay, in our last meeting, we discussed some transmission issues with our garbage truck that didn't preclude us from using it, but needed repairs. Dave shared with me before the meeting that it went to Bismarck, and it's uncertain at this time until they actually get into it what the turnaround time is going to be, but it will be covered under warranty. And we'll have to make do until we get that truck back. The other thing we talked about a little bit, we had opportunity to clean out a number of the lines and stuff, and we did that over by Cenex. Cenex's car wash has been put back into service. We have been following up on that. They're starting to see some sediment in that drain area. And so I asked Dave, the guys will go ahead and take some pictures and stuff so that we can kind of monitor the progress on that and share that with Mr. Dahl to ensure that we've got an active plan in place as we move forward, so we're not creating additional problems for any of the property owners along that stretch.
So when the car wash was down for 5 weeks,
It was nothing, it
Nothing.
stayed clean.
Yeah.
okay,
They said it was real fine sediment, but you could start to see it, it started to fill in there a little bit again.
okay. Okay.
That's all I have this evening.
Dave, maybe you can answer this question. I've seen a couple times in the last week or two, the water department guys in their truck, and they've got their little crane hanging behind it. They're carrying, are they dirty baskets?
Yeah, they take the basket like from lift station one, they take it out to the lagoon and empty it.
Okay. Do we always just dangle it off the crane
Yeah,
off the back like
yeah,
that?
that's,
I've never seen that in
Yeah.
15 years being on the board.
Yeah, that's-
Lately I've seen it twice.
that's, yeah, that's pretty much the norm, yeah.
Okay, interesting. They look pretty nasty.
They are.
All right, thank you, Dan. Street cemetery, Jason's not here. Dave, what can you tell us?
Well, been busy mowing and weed whacking and sweeping, have the sweepers and stuff out, keeping the storm drains open after each storm event or whatever that we've had, and that's pretty much it right now.
Okay. I gotta tell you, I was kind of surprised. About 2 months ago, I saw a couple of the guys working by Cenex putting cold patch in holes. And they did it, basically there was water running and they filled that patch, that hole. And I thought, there's no way we're wasting our time.
Yeah, no, it's designed
It's
to
still there
use over
today.
water.
Patch still, I was surprised how well that's holding up. It's nice to see. Finance busing.
So I don't have anything at this time.
I know that
Peg Rod talked to me about one of their buses is really in bad shape. Has she talked to you yet? Okay. All right. I told her she needed to visit with you as well. She's gonna talk to Monty.
Okay.
I don't remember which bus it is. Do you?
Must be that
It's a
old
van.
little one.
It's the van.
Yeah, it's parked behind our shop, so I wonder if they didn't park it and all.
That's the one, yep, the one behind the shop. Okay.
Peggy talked to me,
The
it
one that
was,
we always had
Yeah,
problems with.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but I wanted to talk to you. She did talk to Monty, and I wanted to talk to you too. Maybe Monty will. All right. Police, fire, forestry.
All right, we'll go with the fire department first. So since the first part of June, we've had 2 runs. Little grass fire up at a landfill and a coyote power plant fire. Turned out it was the best case scenario that could happen for a fire at a power plant. They had some damage, but the very next day they got back up online, so there was a mutual aid with Beulah, and Zap was also paged out for that one. Then Saturday, we had a benefit up here for Kelly and Bob Weiss. Went over really good. We fried somewhere between 1,100 and 1,200 Fleischkiefer. I don't exactly know what the official total was, but I know it's over 1,100. So that turned out pretty good for them. And that's all we got for the fire department. Forestry position has been posted, finally. That's all we got for that. And then on the police department, nothing new there per se, but they did have, in the month of May, they did have 150 calls for service, 67 of them being completed by Chief Wolf, 16 of them being completed by Officer Samantha Melberg, 29 of them being completed by Officer Anthony Melberg, and 17 being completed by Officer Byers. So, it was a decent month for them. That's all I got for now.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Weaver? Thanks. Buster, anything from you?
Okay, well, I'll share a couple of things. One is that, just to kind of follow up on the PIP information that we had gotten, we had a chamber meeting the other day, and we had quite a bit of discussion about, some of the businesses patrolling their areas in front of their businesses relative to the weeds and whatever. And we had actually a lot of discussion about that, which also was a high priority in the PIP grant that was brought up a lot of times. And, and then some of the unkept lawns around town questioning, what can we do about it? And why does it take so long to, to get things rolling? And I know it's kind of a long-standing, I think, thorn in a lot of people's side. And I wish that there was something that we could do to either assist or something in terms of trying to make certain that stuff gets taken care of. I know they're walking paths, there's some cracks, there's stuff coming through, that's Mother Nature, and, the sooner we could hit that stuff, the better we would be. And I understand the fact that, from the city perspective, you have to use the person that's certified to do the spraying, that type of thing. Not like me, who drove blow at home, I can just go and spray if I want, I just don't tell anybody, that type of thing. But I bring it to your attention because it is, it was a very high priority with the grant, and I just don't know what we can do about some of the, I don't want to call them vacant properties, but the ones that are just sitting there. For instance, even, to me, it's irritating when I see a house for sale, and you see the sign up there, so-and-so's gonna, the property, and there's weeds like this. I'm not sure whose responsibility that is to take care of that stuff, but it's it's just, to me, it bugs me, okay?
You're preaching to the choir, Buster.
Yeah, and I don't know, but we had, I think, very good discussion at the chamber meeting about it, so I'm hoping that, you know, it goes somewhere. The second thing that I would just share with you is that my group gave me permission to begin doing some research on a housing incentive program in Hazen, which was implemented back over in Dunn County, which is the Kildare area, and then also in McKenzie County. So basically, the last few days, I've been working on trying to get some of those documents together. I do have a small planning committee, folks from my board that have indicated an interest in sitting on that committee with me, plus one outside person that's a banker that deals with you know, some of that loan stuff that I don't know a whole lot about. But we do have a meeting coming up on Thursday, a couple of days off, and I just sent some information off for them today to review and what have you. The idea, of course, would be that if I can get the blessing from my board, that we would like to start offering an incentive program to try to get some more new houses in town. Because the bottom line is that even though there might be a little capital outlay to begin with, long term, when you think about what it will do for property tax in the city of Hazen, it'd be like a major win. So just to, you'll hear more about it once we get beyond the point where we're still kind of editing and talking through talking points, but should be, I think should be fairly exciting stuff, and hopefully eventually, you know, we'll probably need the blessing of the commission to actually put it in place, you know, so. Okay, questions?
Buster, I know that you've been talking to Darrell and with Williams
Yes.
Builders, so, and obviously the construction's happening up there. When that's completed, are they willing to just sell lots too, or do they want to actually do all the building up there?
I think they wanted to do the building, but you know, I wouldn't say it's a done deal, to be honest with you. I really don't know, because, you know, that's probably gonna rest with Tim.
And the reason why I ask is there's not a lot of empty lots in town
I
for
know
sale, to put housing, so.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I
So,
only know a couple.
Yeah,
and I know that, you know, up north of the cemetery, that's out of city limits, so that's.
right, yeah,
You know, we wouldn't be able to do
Right.
anything with that. but-
yeah, no,
Okay.
so, you know, and part of it is this, you know, I certainly wouldn't have any issues visiting with Tim about it more. Sometimes what ends up happening is Darrell gets stuck in the middle, and then he gets beat up from both ends.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of I mean, it makes it kind of mean. And then the other part of it is this, he can't always carry the message the same way. You know how that is? You know, that type of thing? And so, but I'm glad to see that they're making some progress up there, and I'm sure that we're gonna hear a report on some of that. And one thing I will say is this, though, before Jared gets up here, I did have a conversation with Darrell, and he is very impressed with John up there, Schroeder. Yeah, he said he's probably one of the best ones I've had to work with in a long time, so that's great. Okay,
We've known that.
questions? Yes, sir.
So I just have a question on that grant, I guess,
Yeah.
on mowing the lawns. So is there money then there?
Well,
you know,
I-
to mow
You know,
lawns
I
and
don't
spray
know,
weeds,
I
or-
don't know if there would be or not, to be honest with you. I guess part of it is this, that I don't know what we could do, you know? See, I do know that in the past, you know, people get their letters and whatever, they don't cut it, the city goes in and cuts them and then bills them for it. And I'm not even sure what the going rate on that is. But, you know, the difficult part of some of that stuff, it takes so long.
Mhm.
you know, you draft a letter and then what do they have, 2 weeks to respond, and then the weeds just get higher, and the grass gets higher, and the lawnmower won't go through it. Yeah, so. So anyway,
It's a slippery slope there.
yes, it
You
is.
know, you hear that some of the people say, well, geez, I went on vacation for a week, I come home and I got a letter. You know, so if you're too quick for the letter,
Yeah.
you get beat up. If you're not quick enough, you get beat up. And frankly, I don't know that we, the city, want to be in the lawn mowing business for residential or
We don't have that
businesses.
power. We don't have the time.
You
to
know,
do that.
so.
Yeah, just a matter of, you know, somehow I wish that we could put all our heads together and come up with a nice plan. You know, it's kind of like in the winter, we deal with the snow removal, right? And in the summer, we deal with grass cutting.
Yeah,
All right,
Buster.
thank you.
You know, middle of last week, Monty and I did drive around for about an hour and a half, taking pictures of properties, and there was probably 25 of them that needed attention. I would say when I drove around yesterday, half of them had been addressed. And surprisingly, there were even some that, when Monty and I pulled up to them, we expected to take a picture and they were done. They were already mowed. So there's some, you know, those properties up on Divide, on West Divide there. I'm not sure who's mowing those, but at least they've knocked it down. It's not great, but you know, we're trying, Buster. It's
Yeah.
like Mr. Pillar said, it's a very slippery slope. And we have to follow those timelines, and people have rights too, and it's just, some people just don't give a rip. But it's the way it is.
Speaking of mowing,
Yes.
there's that property that's, it's not mowed, but it also is half to 3/4 burnt down. Have you guys taken any action on that yet?
I believe that we are still waiting for their insurance
Okay.
company to deal with it. When Monty and I were driving around, we stopped right there, and the former fire chief was stopped there and visited with us as well, and he said the same thing.
You say that's gonna become a public safety issue here, and I could see someone, a kid going onto that property and getting hurt with the way that the condition of that place is right now.
Yeah.
That one might be worthy of a special letter.
Okay. All right, and yeah, like I said, he said that the insurance company hasn't made an assessment, whatever, I'm not sure what they're waiting for, but that's what we were told. All right, moving on, actually, let's back up to 5A, engineers report. Jared, you're up.
Yeah. Sorry for being late. I was just spending some time out on Expedition Estates, kind of getting through things. I'll just go backwards here if that's okay. Expedition Estates, Williams Building Company has one employee out there this week, and then he's in sledding for everything else. Their foreman's name is Chris. Things are going well. They're generally replacing damaged infrastructure from the previous project. They have a long trench opened up, which tells me they're taking their time doing the backfilling. Backfilling is going very slow because they're doing it intentionally, small lifts. I'm very happy with the way it's going. I talked to John too. They've not failed any compaction tests or moisture tests. So it appears they're doing well. I would say they're probably 25% done with the sanitary sewer out there. I don't know if that's on schedule or ahead or behind. I'm not certain, but John's our engineer that's out in the field. I know Buster mentioned him, but yeah, John's got 15 years experience doing this stuff too, so he's happy with it. With the rain coming this weekend, I don't know if they'll be working next weekend. He wasn't sure. I'd say the production is slow, when it rains, so they may take a week off, but that's kind of that's in a nutshell what they're doing right now. At the end, we'll again run a camera through everything, pressure test the water main, bacteria test, do everything that the health department requires for the as completed tests out there. But yeah, things are going well, I think, so far. You're not paying for anything there, so we have nothing to process or approve, no change orders, nothing like that. I'll bounce back up to the front here. So what I have to approve tonight, just kind of a little bit of housekeeping. So I'll just kind of, we have change order number 7. This is actually a compilation of 3 different things. You guys had approved doing the work of the hydrant relocation down here. So that is actually the top 2 items. It came out to $10,500, which is what their quote was originally to repair the leaking hydrant. So it's not above, it's not beyond. We did check all their hours, so that's about 1/3 of this change order, which is items 1 and 2. Items 3 through 8 are what we approved 2 weeks ago. We got the quote for 4 patches in town. You guys wanted to add a 5th. They kept their unit price the same. So that's what items 3 through 8 are. We're intentionally doing this as one change order because we're trying to run all this through the funding agency. I can't get a change order approved for asphalt and concrete, but I can if it's all part of doing this work together. So that's why, please don't put that in the newspaper, but it's just, we're trying to use a funding source to pay for everything and not, have separate contracts. It's more efficient for you guys to do it that way. And then items 9 through 13 are just the associated concrete work with that. I don't know exactly where each of those concrete work ones is. The only one that's an oddball one that I think is worth talking about is the $7,800 at the Skyway Medical Center. That's a driveway repair. That's not associated with these water projects. There's a heaving spot in their driveway right at the entrance, and it's messing up your guys' road. So when we build concrete things, we put expansion joints in. Every year when it gets hot out here, concrete expands. Sometimes it buckles, sometimes it just pushes and wrecks stuff. So they have a huge concrete parking lot, and there must have not been enough expansion joints put in it. Expansion joints are those fiber boards that they put in all over the place. That's what's needed is at the entrance where the concrete is pushing out and wrecking your road, there's a repair needed there to replace that and put in a proper expansion joint so that it won't wreck your road. So that's the only item here within this change order that's not associated with the water project. I bring it up because I'm not sure what conversation's been had with them or not. And I was hoping to ask Monty, but I just didn't have a chance to do that, so.
What do you mean? With whom?
I just didn't know if it was gonna be just part of this, or if you wanted it done and then figure out if it warranted having a conversation with them, or if it was more just related to the road work.
You mean at the hospital?
Yeah.
This is what we looked at that day.
Yeah.
And then Monty informed us that engineering was on top of it.
Get a quote.
Yep.
So I have a quote, they're ready to do the work upon approval. So that's just the limits of my knowledge of it right now. We are paying, move and markup to get there on these things, so I do think it's warranted to, get it done ahead of the asphalt people being here, so they can patch it in when they are here. So I do think we should approve it tonight, and we get this project wrapped up. With this is with TAND, right? So we have 3 contractors on the water project. I'm going to ask you to approve a payment for TAND. It's a semi-final payment. So we approve a change order tonight, and then we include this work with their final payments, hopefully in July, assuming they can get here and get this work done. So, any questions, or should we just?
From an engineering standpoint, you guys are thinking that when the concrete was put into place as part of the hospital project, that there may not have been appropriate expansions, and that the movement of that is what has pushed and broke off that curb and then pushed the asphalt in that strange manner?
As a rule of thumb, you put in expansion joints about every 100 feet. And that is supposed to take care of any expansion contracting. And then beyond that, it does happen more. If you drive, it's 90 degrees out right now. And if you drive through Fargo,
Mhm.
you're gonna see sidewalk that's buckled up like
Mhm.
this, and those areas need it. So I would say that it's not a perfect rule of thumb. Sometimes it takes more. So I guess I can't say that there was like, I can't say that it was done wrong, but it needed more expansion joints, is what it.
And I guess the reason I'm asking the question is we're looking at it from a city's responsibility standpoint here, and I'm curious if it's an insurance issue with the construction of, of the hospital project. When we asked questions and took a look at it and stuff, we had done a lot of street work throughout the city of Hazen. So it wasn't clear to me when I looked at it if it was associated with work that we had done as part of the street modification project, or if, so I didn't know where it stood. I asked some questions as well, and then relying on you guys and your expertise as to,
Could there have been an expansion joint there before the street project? I don't know, because there could have been. And it could have, jokingly, those expansion joints don't last forever. They're supposed to, but some contractors will joke that you put your phone number on there, I'll mail it to you when it comes out, because they do pop out.
Okay.
And so we do some, it's more of a maintenance thing than if they do pop out. You can retrofit them with that fiberboard or just joint seal them, but that spot's bad right now. It's actually, I don't think it's.
Yeah, the asphalt.
we've looked at it, yeah.
Yeah.
So the parking lot was put in 6 years ago? How long is
For the last 3 years, this time of year, Monty has sent me an email. It's
Yeah.
pushing out, and I would guess that in November it retracts back in.
It comes and goes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was bad.
But the concrete obviously is broken up there now, at least. So the asphalt is, so I'm not sure it's gonna suck itself back in now that the concrete is broken.
Right. It's wrecked, it's gotta be fixed. Yeah. But I have funding in place, we can take care of it. Beyond that, if you wanted to have a conversation with those folks, that's up to you guys. Maybe that's happened, but where I am, if we can get this concrete work done now ahead of the asphalt paving being done, we can button this up and be done with it.
And this is all going in your one submittal then on the project?
Yes, together, between those three things, the hydrant relocation, the asphalt stuff, and then the concrete work, it's $37,398.14. You apply a 60% cost share to that, it'll be about 20 grand of grant towards that work. So,
All of which all this stuff, that's
Yep.
the overall. Okay.
Yep. I would ask for approval of change order number 7.
So on this driveway, because I haven't seen it yet, but, so anyway, so then are we gonna do the whole driveway?
No,
So just,
I would say, we measured out a certain number of square yards of it. The worst part is in one of the radiuses. It's actually the south radius. You go look at it, it's bulging your asphalt up. So what we did was, I don't know if we marked it or drew it up, but we've got about 15 feet of curb that needs to be replaced there, an expansion joint on either side, and then a piece of the concrete driveway. And then we're having them put that expansion joint all the way across the front of the driveway, so from one piece of radius to the other. And Grant's got about, I don't know, 5 different bid items that add up to $7,800 to fix that.
so there's no way, I guess, even if we were just to do the curb, and just leave the driveway
The curb and
for them?
the curb and the driveway are kind of poured integrally there. I call it like an apron, so I don't think there's any way to just do the curb there. You kind of gotta chop it, unless we saw cut it funny.
So then, even on the curb in the driveway, I didn't think that you could, I guess, have just one pour. I thought it had to be split.
Some contractors will pour it in one, some will pour it in 2. Yeah,
See the broken concrete, he's talking about the curb. So it's caused the asphalt and stuff to buckle. See, this here is actually mounted up and pushed out there. So all along here, it kind of pushed out and caused it to buckle up.
So I guess question I got then is, I guess why can't we just do that curve?
Well, that's what he's talking about doing, is this stretch here, and then the portion of the here that's also been pushing right here.
I don't think it's gonna solve all the problem. We could, but you might still have problems on the rest of that. You see, I'm kind of just, we're picturing kind of chopping out the corner there. It's a little bit bigger area than just the curb.
No, 'cause doesn't it just look like it's, and that radius isn't like growing out? It's just moving the curve part, so then, I mean, like, even if that curve was gone, and that short piece, and then
We might
Got
be
the concrete right
We
there,
may
too.
be able to slim it down a little bit.
Gully.
Once we go mark it out, if we can, we will. I'm sorry, I don't have the actual quote that's got all the bid items on it. We looked at it with them, we thought, we figured out what should be done.
right here.
We don't want to be back to visit it
Pushed
again.
up about 10 inches higher.
Okay, so we're asking to approve change order number 7. And we need a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve change order number 7 as presented.
Motion by Pillar,
Second.
second by Weidrich. Discussion.
I would like to see maybe some discussion with the hospital, as it relates to the project out there and stuff. Maybe we can see if there are some photographs and stuff taken at the time in which the construction was done. We can see whether there's opportunity for some cost sharing, maybe.
Exactly what it's gonna ask about.
Okay.
If we're gonna front the
I think that's a
whole
good
bill.
idea. I just wasn't prepared for that right here tonight, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All right, roll call. Pillar,
Aye.
Weidrich,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Obenauer says aye. Motion carried.
Okay. Sanitary sewer collection, so generally, I don't have anything to present to you tonight, but basically, we use that FAR grant to clean and televise your sewer mains. Generally, you guys get a copy of the tapes. We have watched the tape. We have to deliver what's called an engineering facility plan to the Department of Environmental Quality. That's what they get at the end, so they have records of what the conditions are too. I mean, they're trying to assess big picture what the needs are of the state. I owe you a presentation on it, and, I mean, I'm thinking like, I'll give you guys the tapes, you guys can certainly watch them yourself, there's about 30 blocks of sewer mains. I think you guys did that last time with Mark, right?
Yep.
I don't know if it warrants doing it at a city council meeting, but.
Probably not, because it was long.
Right,
Yeah.
but, well, we do it.
Pop some popcorn.
Yeah, right. So we kind of just summarize the bad spots, right? Or give you some general idea. And I'm thinking maybe like, 10 slides that we put up on the screen. I can show you the bad spots, and then you can have the report. But I'm not going to turn the report into the health department until you guys get a chance to look at it. So I'm thinking sometime in July, we'll have a report done and be ready for that. I'm sorry, guys, I skipped. We actually have a payment for 10. That was actually
Yeah.
contractor's application for payment number 10, which is pages 5 through 8. That's $81,863.51. This is a semi-final payment for TAND. All we're doing is we're holding a little bit of retainage until this patching work gets done. On the punch list, I have some seeding, I have some They have to remove some erosion control measures up on the north side next to the tank. John was going around looking, checking all these punch list items last week. I didn't get a chance to talk with him, but he had from Grant kind of a list of punch list things, and then they were paring them down to just a couple. And I noticed a couple of them when I was up there. So I'm sorry I skipped over that, but I would ask for approval of payment number 10 to Cannon Construction. Yes. Not in my packet, it looks like. I don't have a copy of it with me.
George says 81,000 what?
$81,863.51. So what I always do is I ask you guys for approval contingent upon funding agency approval. And so if it, I can email it to you tomorrow or when I get back tonight to double check it. I'm sorry it's not in the packet here, it's supposed to be.
Okay, change order number 10.
Payment, contractor's application.
Payment for 10.
Yeah.
Number 10.
Contractor's application for payment number 10, yeah.
So moved.
Motion by Pillar,
Second.
second by Weidrich. Discussion. Roll call. Pillar,
Aye.
Weidrich,
Aye.
Stern,
Aye.
Omenauer says aye.
Okay, so sorry about that. Last thing I have here too is, I mentioned this last meeting when I was on the phone. So this is in your packet here. You guys have spent time and money working on your comprehensive plan. And as a part of that, you paid us some money to do your capital improvement plan. So this is your list of capital improvement plan projects. There's about 30 projects here, all kind of shown on a map. It's in a comp plan. It's a part of what Buster's got there. What a lot of cities are doing is they're going to more of a little better system, which is like a web-based system. Only problem with having a sheet of paper is that it gets outdated in about a week. And so this is a free application. You don't pay a subscription for it. There are lots of applications out there for capital improvement plan software. There's some you pay for, there's some you don't. But the idea here is that some cities are spending a little more time and effort to put their capital improvement plans into a web-based software. You can bring it up on the screen. You know, I know we got a street project that probably going to be chip seal in 2028. And as a part of that, you know, there's storm sewer improvements, or there's other things that are worth discussing and thinking about. And a little better web-based application like this can help you. You know, if you're doing your budgeting for the year, you want to budget for something, you probably should go through your list of capital improvement plans and see if it's worth knocking any of them out, or if not, kick them back a year, change the dollar amount, add to the scope. But you can, this page is like a summary page. This is Castleton's. It kind of shows their list of projects, and then each page would then have its own individual project. We already wrote a lot of these descriptions. I mean a little bit. We have dollar amounts figured out, but it would further develop them and put them onto a system for you. So
With that particular app, Jared, can that be linked to
GIS map?
to just our public website?
Yes.
Where citizens are interested in drilling down and taking a look at what the city has forecasted as being capital needs and stuff?
Right, so if you got the paper copy that you did in 2012, and then you did in 2022, they're getting a look at it every 10 years. If you have a web-based one, they can look at it. It'd be a read-only version for the public, but Monty could update it, we could update it.
Right.
And so, it's a lot, I mean, putting one of these together in this system, I just put, like, I told Monty it'd probably take us about 20 hours to help him with it, and so it wouldn't be done fast. It'd probably take us 6 months to kind of piddle away at it to help build it for him. We have everything on a map and all together, but what I was asking for, if you'd like us to help him with it, would be, you know, I put it in here. It's task order number 14, CIP software plan support. Would be to just help those guys build it for them. So that's what I have. And I guess stand for questions or whatever you guys think. Just some engineering support to help build it.
Any questions for Jared? I've got one for you, Jared. This is
Yes.
off topic. Has the state been in contact with you guys at all about the underpass project for next summer? No.
The last I remember, they gave you guys like 2 or 3 options related to flood protection or alignment, and I have
Rain
not.
dike or whatever, yeah.
And I have not heard anything since.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
They do need to keep you in the loop, obviously, not just for, it's a state highway, so they're gonna do what they want. That's part of your levy, so you could have some FEMA floodplain adjustment work that you have to do, depending what option they choose, so they will have to keep you in the loop, of course.
Okay.
No, I
Always wasn't there a meeting, I guess, like months
Yep.
ago or two?
Yep, that was,
They gave a presentation to the public and asked for any kind of feedback, public feedback.
It was like, either do you want the levy park on the north side of the highway, on the south side of the highway, or were they gonna be allowed to do some like stop logs, which would be like a removable flood protection thing? The stop logs would be the easiest on one hand, but more maintenance for you guys, you know, you'd have to go do it versus they'd have to get right of way and deal with that if they wanted to do a levy adjustment. So there wasn't an easy answer. I think you guys decided to just let the state figure out what was the most feasible.
the two they looked at, I believe, are a rain dike, like they have across the existing one, and then a stop log system like that, which would be like 3 or 4 iron or metal gates that slide into those
Yeah.
just channels.
Fargo's got a lot of them, because you
Right.
can't, yeah, right.
And I don't know if we could just use our payloader to slide those in and out, or what we need to have, how we'd exercise that.
It'd probably, like, you always find a group like the fire department, they'd be trained on how to install them. It would take an hour to do it, but, yeah, you'd have to have some group, public works or fire department or somebody that was trained to do it.
Right.
Put 'em in.
Well, other than a payloader, you know, to lift those things,
Probably.
you know, well.
These are
that's big.
small, it's
Okay.
just for a pedestrian crossing. The big ones, you kind of need a payloader.
Okay.
They could maybe do it by hand.
Okay. I have no
And
other questions.
I don't volunteer in the fire department for it, but that's usually the group that ends up helping if there's a flood.
Okay, thanks, Jared.
Are there any questions? Do you want to approve that task order 14, or do you want to wait, or what do you guys want to do with that?
Did you talk to Monty at all about it?
Yep, Monty was happy with it, he said if it's spending money, it had to come before the board.
Would be pretty convenient.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve change order 14.
Yeah, motion by Weaver.
I'll second that.
And then second by Pillar.
So the cost on that was $4,000 a year, or just upfront
No.
$4,000?
No, just, yeah, one time.
I'm estimating it'll be about that much. I think you guys budgeted like 20 grand or something for engineering services throughout the year. If we're spending any of it, usually Monty wants us to look at.
So then all it would be, just, all this stuff would be online, right?
Yep.
Next.
Okay, roll call. Pillar?
Aye.
Weaver?
Aye.
Stern?
No,
Omenauer says aye. Motion carried.
I'll stick around for as long as you guys have. Is there anything else you want to discuss with me tonight?
And John is up there every day now, or how often is he coming in to
Just
keep
about
an eye on
every,
those guys?
just about every day. He's kind of trying to watch some little project in Big City, so he's gonna bounce back and forth. But it's not every day, but just about. I mean, they're not moving that fast, so we can usually witness all the the compaction tests or make someone else available for them. But they're talking continuously. I would say almost every day he's here. There's just sometimes he can't be here.
Okay, thanks. Dave, have we heard back from, was it Northern Improvement on the county road project?
No, I
Setting
called
up
him
action
and I
plan?
haven't heard.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, moving on to 11A. This is the website development and the hosting agreement that Monty was working on. And he did have some notes here, let me see if I can find them. Read those notes real quick for everybody. And I don't think this is urgent, but the notes he left says, this is the one website management solution or platform. No implementation or startup fees. Year 1 and year 4, a redesign, which would have a price increase. Start, the redesign would be 5/1/24. I guess I'm not confident, or not, I would rather have Monty explain it to us more.
Well, what I got out of it is we're gonna need a plan as we go forward to keep our website for the city of Hazen modern, up to date. And this is the organization that we used in the past. They've gone through name change or consolidation or whatever. The prices have gone up, but those prices are in line with what other organizations would offer up to do a similar function for the city of Hazen. The difference being is that somebody else for the same dollars would be starting from scratch, basically.
Yeah, you're right, but year 1 would be $5,000, year 2, $5,300, year 3 is $5,600, year 4 is $6,000. Just, I'm not confident right now, us approving this at this point.
Fair enough.
Monty does have, the decision needs to be made by the end of June in his notes. I don't know if that makes any difference to you guys or not, but I think he might be quoting the guy too in there.
Yeah, it's one of those things too, as a city,
Mhm.
your website, you want it to be timely, you want it to be up to date. And the most frustrating thing, in my opinion, is when I've gone to our own city thing, and you got people's names on there that haven't been around for a while, some things haven't been updated, and I think it casts,
Yeah. And Monty doesn't have time to do it.
right.
We can't expect him to do it. I think we need to, unless the board wants to move forward with it, but.
We got one more meeting before deadline? No?
Next meeting is July, yeah. And she didn't say anything to you guys, did he? Okay.
Well, if it comes down to crunch time, then Monty can communicate with us.
Right.
We'll always do a special meeting if we have to.
If it's that urgent,
Yeah.
or if he makes a phone call and says, hey, our next meeting is the first week of July, they may say, okay, well, as long as you let us know by the day after the meeting or something.
Yeah. I think I hope that's.
They're not gonna wanna give up the business.
No, and we're not looking at a different company either, we'll have all of our information.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Table it till next meeting.
We will. All right, thank you. Down to 12A, 2023 auditor's bond. It's the same auditor's bond we've done for the past several years for Monty, and he's always been very good about keeping things in line. I feel confident approving this. Let's see what I have my draft is.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, motion by Pillar, second by Stern. Discussion. Roll call. Pillar.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Weidrich.
Aye.
Obenauer says aye. Motion carried. Down to 13, public comment. Okay, we'll pass that. And then down to approval of the bills.
Move to approve the bills.
I'll second that.
Motion by Stern, second by Pillar. Discussion.
That'll just be what was forwarded to us by email, if there was any additional things that he's done. Oh, we did get something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Roll call. Pillar.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Weidrich.
Aye.
Obenauer says aye. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Dave, you saw they're reinstituting fried chicken up at the hub?
Are they?
Yep.
Okay.
It's been out on social media, and I think I might have even seen it in the Hazen Star, I'm not sure.
Was that a one-day thing though?
Careful, that's that.
Oh, my God, it said-
It's a one,